All right, all right, all right, guys. Welcome. I'm so excited, y'all. So, welcome. I know I'm a few minutes behind schedule, y'all, but I just got everything set up for StreamYard. Y'all can see that we have a different setup tonight, and I'm loving it because right now we are live on YouTube, Instagram, as well as Facebook. So this is exciting. We're live streaming on all of the platforms, and so definitely go and share. I know so many of you have been waiting for me to get on YouTube or Instagram because you don't have Facebook. And so if you're watching this, yay, we are here. All right, so let's dive into this, y'all, because I'm excited. I like tinkering with new things, and y'all, listen, this is a new era right now. This, a lot of things are I'm excited for this year. Let me just say that. A lot of things are new, a lot of things are exciting, a lot of things are really coming forth. And I'm just grateful to be in a space where God is just blessing me and I can see the fruits of my labor, right? He says, you shall know them by the fruits that they bear. And so I'm just grateful that the fruits are bearing right now. So there's a lot of exciting things in store for you guys this year. But let's dive into this, y'all. We are on episode 22. So share this. We're going to jump into this. But our topic of tonight is all about alignment and the power of alignment, y'all. Y'all have me talk about alignment all the time. And we're going to dive into that. I know a lot of you are probably trying to figure out, like, well, how do I get in alignment? When I shared my story a few weeks ago, I spoke about, not feeling in alignment, not connecting with myself, feeling like something is off. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, how do we recognize these things? So with that said, let's jump into it. So welcome back to A Major Insight, a holistic approach to wellness. I am your host, Ashley Major. I'm a faith-based holistic life and wellness coach, author, speaker, and I'm here to help you to go from feeling lost, broken, and unfulfilled to happy, healed, and whole so that you can walk authentically in your purpose. Now, before we dive in, I want to remind you guys of Lisa. So I introduced you guys to Lisa 2 weeks ago. And so for those of you that are new, Lisa is a woman that we center our mission around, right? You may be Lisa. You may recognize parts of yourself in Lisa. I know I used to be Lisa. And so we're speaking to all the Lisas out there, okay? And so who is Lisa? Lisa is a woman that feels stuck. She's a woman who's been through a lot in her life, a lot of pain, a lot of struggle, a lot of turmoil. But deep down, she knows that she's meant for more. See, Lisa is not that person that's given up on life. She is chugging along. She is going through the motions, but life doesn't look the way that she knows it should look. It doesn't look the way that she feels called, right? And so right now she's really just surviving, but she's ready to thrive. Like there's a deep desire to just get over this hurdle and thrive, right? And so that's what I do. I help you overcome. I help you to thrive. I help you to to work on your healing and to connect to your source of healing. Because I was once Lisa, like I knew deep down that God created me for more. I knew deep down that there was more to the life that I was living. There was more to this toxic cycles that I was repeating. And so I know how to help you break free. I know how to help you step into your God-given calling. And so I'm here to help all the Lisas out there just break free. Get that breakthrough that they know God is pulling them to, that God is calling them to. And so if you resonate with any of that, stay with me tonight, okay? Because again, this is a powerful topic. When we talk about alignment, y'all, listen, when we talk about alignment, there's a lot that goes into it, but you first need to recognize, right? And so before we jump into that though, I do want to mention, shout out to all of the ladies in the 365 days on purpose. Y'all, we are on day 51 of this challenge. And today our prompt was to just transform our negative thoughts, our negative words into positive thoughts and words. So anytime we speak something negative, we immediately shift that into something positive. And no matter how many times that come up through the day, we are going to shift to positive, because a lot of it is mindset. Before we could really create sustainable change, we have to shift our mindset. See, I don't know how many of you have gone through a weight loss journey, right? And you did all the things that your trainer told you that you should do. You ate clean, you worked out consistently, but the minute your trainer went away, what happened? You went back to those old habits. Why? Because your trainer was your voice of reason. Your trainer was your conscience. Your trainer had the right mindset, and he encouraged you and he held you accountable. But the minute your trainer left your accountability, bye-bye, left your conscience, bye-bye, left your desire to stick to your goals. And so the reason that happened is because you did not have the mindset shift. You did not work on shifting your mindset. See, as far as you're concerned, you didn't want to disappoint your trainer, but what about disappointing yourself? What about not wanting to disappoint yourself? Right? And so when we go through this process of breaking free from toxic cycles, of breaking free from the pain, on working on our healing, we have to shift our mindset, because a lot of what we're going through, a lot of the cycles that we're repeating is within our mindset. And so, today, that was, one of the things that we worked on was shifting our mindset from negative to positive and being intentional about it. Because this journey, 365 days on purpose, is all about living intentionally for the next year, being on purpose, in purpose, with purpose, and being aligned. Right? And so if you want to join us, it's not too late. You can head over to Facebook and click search 365 days on purpose. I'm sure we're going to come up. You can connect with the community. And so your transformation awaits, okay? And it's a free community, okay? And so today's topic, though, is all about alignment. We're talking about the power of alignment and breaking free from stagnation, breaking free from repeated cycles, breaking free so that you can now thrive, okay? And so this topic really helps us to focus on what happens when you feel stuck, and then how to realign with yourself, how to realign with God's purpose, right? So not only are you realigning with yourself, but you're also realigning with God's purpose for your life, okay? So let's dive into this, y'all, because I can't wait to give you guys the actionable steps, right? As you guys know, I am big on just giving you guys to do things or to-do lists once you are done. So stick with me to the end, because you are going to get that to-do list, okay? So first things first, recognizing when you are misaligned. What does those signs look like, right? One of the biggest reasons we feel stuck is because we're out of alignment. I remember sharing when I talked about my story and why I left my husband. If you guys didn't watch that episode, it's pinned to my Facebook page. You guys can check that out. But one of the things that I remember was feeling like I wasn't moving, feeling like every time I worked towards a goal, there was a disconnect, feeling like something was missing. And so what does that really look like? Because you may be there, but you may not realize that you're out of alignment. So here are some signs to know when you are out of alignment, all right, or when you are misaligned, right? You may think that you are aligned in an area of your life, but it's not connecting. Like you feel like there's some resistance, right? And so first thing is persistent, relentless, or being distant, right? A disconnect. And so you feel unsettled about things. Even when things seem to be going well, there's a sense of, I don't know, or there's a lack of fulfillment. You feel unfulfilled no matter how much you achieve when you are going through this process. And I know I said, what did I say? I meant to say persistent restlessness. I don't remember what I said, but I meant to say persistent restlessness. So you're feeling either persistent restlessness or a disconnect. Okay. And so that means that, no matter what you do, there's always a lack of fulfillment. You feel like, okay, something in here, like I should be happy about this, but you're not. That's a sign that you're misaligned, right? Or you feel a struggle every time. Everything just feels like an uphill battle. You feel like your relationships is a struggle. You feel like your career is a struggle. You feel like your personal growth is a struggle. I remember just trying to get back into a routine after everything happened with me. And I couldn't get to sleep on time. And I never had a problem getting to sleep on time. I never had a problem waking up on time. I never had a problem creating a morning routine because I'm a morning person. I consider myself a morning person. And so I realized that there was a disconnect. There was a struggle there because I felt lack of energy. I felt like there was always something that was hindering me, right? And so are you in that position? Are you feeling like everything is a struggle? Are you feeling like you're always encountering an obstacle, a setback, or a roadblock, right? Maybe you feel burnt out. There's no energy. You don't want to do anything. You just want to lay down in bed. You feel uninspired. You feel overwhelmed, right? Maybe you feel exhausted even after you've gotten a good night's sleep. Like all of these are signs that there's a misalignment. All right. Maybe you're suffering from mood swings and you can't figure out why. There's a disconnect there. Again, we talk about repeated cycles, right? And repeated negative cycles, repeated negative patterns. So you're noticing that you're in these cycles. So for example, when I was going through my situation with depression, and I was going through all of these things, I felt that there was a cycle because I would talk to myself and be like, Ash, that this is not you. But then and I would talk myself a little, well, okay, if this happens, you're going to do this. You're not going to do that. And then I realized that when things happen, like I would just go right back into these negative cycles. And I'm like, no, this is not you. Stop doing this. I would go back into just getting angry, allowing things to trigger me, allowing things to hinder me, right? And so are you in that place? Are you making decisions that does not align with who you are or where you want to go, right? But you're stuck in these cycles. Poor financial decision making, self-sabotaging, right? There was a time when I wanted to stop cursing so bad. Y'all, those who knew the old Ashley knew that the old Ashley was a potty mouth. Y'all, I've come a long way. Okay. And so, and I would still find myself being vulgar and doing all these things. And I'm like, I should trying to stop this. Or when I was trying to stop smoking, I found myself in all of these environments, putting myself in these environments that I know is going to encourage the behavior that I no longer wanted to align with. So what are you doing? What are you doing to repeat the negative patterns that you are trying to break? Because see, we need to recognize before we can make any changes comes awareness. We need to be aware of the things that we're doing. We need to be aware of the signs that we are misaligned, that we are out of alignment with our purpose. We are out of alignment with our best selves, right? And so maybe you're an overthinker or you're constantly doubting yourself. Listen, queens. We are blessed with something called intuition. Some may call it a gut feeling, but I can tell you right now, trust it. Stop doubting yourself. When you learn to trust your gut, when you learn to trust your intuition, you would stop overthinking. You would stop second guessing yourself. There would be no space for doubt because you trust yourself. And so if you are constantly questioning your decisions, or if you are a very indecisive person, like there's some misalignment there, right? If you struggle with being clear, there's misalignment. Maybe you feel, and this is a big one, emotional and spiritual disconnect, lack of joy, right? Your spirit feels dry. You feel anxious and unmotivated all the time. You feel, you used to be excited, but now it feels like just a chore. Maybe you were an outgoing person and you don't even want to be around people. I remember I used to tell people all the time, like right now, my social battery is at 0. I can't hang. Don't ask me to hang. I'm not going nowhere. I don't want to go anywhere. My sister used to have to drag me out the house. It was so bad that I would sit in my house for days. I would sit in my house for days, y'all. I didn't have to go anywhere. As long as I had something to smoke, as long as I had something to drink, I was fine. And I would work from home. I still work from home. And so I would be in the house all day. So it was so bad, y'all. I got hives because I had vitamin D deficiency because I hadn't gone out the house in like a month or so. It was bad. It was bad. And I didn't see anything wrong with it because I was content. But I never used to be like that. When I sit back and I look, like something's wrong, Ash. Like this is not you. This is not the bubbly, outgoing person. Y'all, I was angry all the time, so there was no joy in my life. I wasn't laughing. When I started to come back to me, to come back to Ash, to come back to God, y'all, one of the things that I remember praying to God about is, Lord, I want to laugh again. I want to laugh again because I'm a person who loves to laugh. I love a good joke. I will sit down and talk foolishness all day. Like I love to laugh. And those who are around me, they're like, this girl always have a smile on her face. That's me. I know that that's me. But in this season of my life that I was in, there was no joy. There was no laughter. There was no passion. Like I was doing things just to put a band-aid over what was going on in my life, just to brush everything off, to ignore what was going on because I didn't want to deal with it, or there was no way for me to deal with it. That in that time of how I was thinking, because everything was just dismissed and brushed under the rug. And so I said to God, I said, God, I want to laugh again. And y'all, you know what I did? I started watching comedy shows and stand-up comedy at that. Like I would watch a comedy show every night. Every night. I started watching comedy movies. I started watching rom-coms. Like I just started putting myself in an environment to laugh. And I was not going out, so I had to do it right where I was. I wasn't surrounding myself with people to have conversations, to laugh. I created that environment because I wanted to feel joy in my life again. I wanted to find something funny. I started watching comedy. And so there are things, that you can do. We're going to get to that, but you have to acknowledge the signs. You have to see that there's a disconnect in your life. If you know that you're a joyous person, or you would like to be a joyous person, right? Put yourself in environments, because you see that, okay, well, you know, I'm always indifferent. I feel numb about things. I don't want to be this person. There's a misalignment, because deep down you know that you can see your future self, right? You can see who you are meant to be. God is not going to give us these grand visions of who we could be if there was no possibility of us ever becoming that person. And so it's important that you understand that if you can see it, if you can dream it, it is possible. So if you can see yourself being that person, then why not make the effort? Why not do the work? Nothing is impossible. And when you include God in the process, listen, you got the power in your hands. All right. And so sometimes misalignment may be physical, right? It may manifest in your body with headaches or tensions or stomach aches or fatigue, or constantly being stressed and on edge, and all of these things. Like, something isn't right, because life should never be with you in a constant state of stress. That is a plan of the enemy. God promises peace. He promises peace, even in the middle of our storms. He didn't tell us that we will go without storms, but he promises peace. And so if you are in the middle of a storm and you're feeling turmoil, you're feeling triggered, you're feeling anxiety, that is not of the Lord. You're feeling fear. That is not what God has for you. You are misaligned, Queen, and we need to get you back in alignment with who God has called you to be, who God told you you are, and his purpose for your life. All right. And so those are, some signs that you can pay attention to if you ever are questioning if you're in alignment with yourself. So if any of these feels like this is where you are, it is time to put a pause on what's going on and start working to correct it. Okay. And so it is not failure, y'all. Like, nothing, the only time to truly fail is if you fall and never get back up, if you stay down. I think it's Will Smith or Les Brown who talks about failing forward, right? Every time you fail, that's a lesson in what not to do. That's a lesson in what you can do. Listen, if Albert Einstein had stopped on the 1,000 light bulb, we wouldn't have light today, or somebody else would have created it, right? But he wouldn't have done it. It took him 1,001 tries. But because he made the 1,001 try, we have light today. So what am I saying? That this is just your sign to pause. This is just your sign to reflect. And this is just your sign to course correct. Everything that I shared with you is for you to just reflect on, pause, and realign yourself. Realign. You can still get back on course. It's not too late. As long as you have breath in your body, you can get back on course, because God is calling us for something deeper. God is calling us for meaning, but we have to listen. And everything that is a sign of misalignment is God knocking on our door, trying to get our attention. That is God trying to get your attention. We need to listen. All right. So, are you truly living in alignment? I want you to ask yourself, are you truly living in alignment, or are you forcing something that is no longer meant for you? Sometimes we trying to force these puzzle pieces together. Y'all, I'm working on a 750 piece puzzle right now. And sometimes the pieces, they look like they fit, but when you're like, oh no, that goes somewhere else. Because when you try to add the next piece to it, it doesn't connect. Right? So are you forcing pieces together that no longer serve you? Sometimes our season has been worn out, but we're still there. And then because we're not listening, God now has to force us to listen. And oftentimes they take drastic measures. Drastic measures. Maybe you're put out on the street. Maybe you don't have a roof over your head, or you're sleeping in your car, or you don't have food to eat because you weren't making the right decisions. Maybe you get caught up in an abusive relationship because God's been telling you it's time to leave that relationship, but you just wanted to stay because you wanted to try to make it work. Sometimes we get caught up and we feel like we've hit rock bottom, but it's because we weren't paying attention. We weren't listening. We weren't recognizing the signs because we're trying to fit into places where we have outgrown. We are no longer, it's no longer serving us. So please take the time. If any of the things that I listed, and I intentionally took my time going through that list because it is important for us to pay attention to the signs. Y'all, the goal is to live in alignment with who God has called us to be. It's not just to be in this world existing. It is to thrive and to truly live and to do what God has purposed us here on this earth to do. So are you existing or are you living? Are you in alignment or are you trying to force something that is no longer for you? These are the questions you need to sit and reflect on. Take a moment. Where in your life do you feel stuck? Reflect on this. Do some introspective work. Is it your career? Is it your relationship? Is it your health? Is it your spiritual growth? Where do you feel stuck? What area of your life do you feel stuck? And how can we course correct? And so that's where we're going to go right now, right? So once you recognize that you're out of alignment, you need to get back on track. So how do you do this? How do you do this? So I shared with you guys when I went through my journey, how I started my course correction. And let me just say this, it does not happen overnight. So we live in an age where we want everything like that. This they call the microwave generation. Listen, if something took you years to go through, why do you expect it's going to take you a day or week to overcome? We set unrealistic expectations, and then when those expectations are not met, we fall back into the same cycles. Give yourself grace, give yourself time. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. But with that said, do not use that as an excuse of why change isn't being made. Because at the end of the day, I started off by saying, you know a tree by the fruit that it bears. And if you are not bearing fruit in your life, then you're repeating the same toxic habits. You're repeating the same cycles. Your tree needs to bear fruit. And in order to bear fruit, you need to make intentional decisions to change. All right, so let's go into this. So how do you get back on track? Y'all pray, pray, pray. Pray for clarity. Pray for God to show you what areas are not working, what areas are keeping you stagnant. Reveal to you where you need to work on. I say this all the time. Prayer works. But as we are praying, y'all, we need to don't just seek God for what he can do for you. What can you do for him? You need to study your word because when the battle comes again, you need to be armored. You need to be armored to be able to withstand those battles. And the only way that you can do that is if you study your word, if you know the prayers and the scriptures to repeat, to keep yourself in peace while God is working on you, while God is revealing these areas that you need to work on. Because there's a saying that when we pray for patience, God doesn't just say, here, now you have patience. No, he gives you situations to test your patience. It may be your husband, it may be your kids, it may be family members, it may be your boss. But he gives you situations to test the very thing that you are asking him for. And so you got to be ready to take on the things that you are asking for. You got to be ready and prepared to know that with this is going to come trials. With this is going to come struggles. But every time I fall, I need to get back up because now I'm a step closer. Every time you feel you take one step forward and 10 steps back, guess what? Now it's time to course correct, and you can take 10 steps forward and maybe 5 steps back. But it's all to get you closer to the goal that you are desiring, which is to be a better version of yourself, which is to be who God has called you to be, to walk in your divine purpose. All right. So after you've prayed, after you've connected, after you've surrendered it all to God, now you need to audit your life. Take inventory of your habits, take inventory of your relationships, your commitments. Are they serving your highest self? Are they serving you? Are these things serving you? Are they pouring into you? Are they taking away from you? When we say, is something serving you, is this helping you to become your best self? Or is this keeping you in those stagnant patterns? Is this keeping you in those toxic cycles? Take an audit. Remember, you can't address what you don't inspect. You can't change what you don't know is the problem. You have to first become aware of these things. You have to know what it is that you're working on. You cannot just blindly try to fix your life without truly knowing where the problem is. You have to get to the root, okay? And then take inspired action. See, we will figure the things out, but we would not take the action to make the change. Nothing changes if you don't. Nothing changes if you don't. You have to take action. And y'all, it does not have to be pretty. It's going to be messy. But keep going. I did not become this person overnight, y'all. I did not become this person overnight. But guess what? Every day I woke up desiring to be my best self. And so I tried. I made an effort. Some days were pretty, some days weren't. Some days I pat myself on the back, some days I cried. But every day I made an effort to work towards who I wanted to be this person that you see today. And y'all, I am nowhere close to who God has called me to be. But I am nowhere near who I used to be 3 years ago. Progress. Right? So make small intentional steps. Make small intentional steps. It does not have to be large, unrealistic goals, y'all. Simple steps. Maybe start by setting some boundaries for yourself. Maybe start by investing in personal growth. I know one of the things for me is I got a coach. Y'all, and I got a coach in different areas of my life. I have a business coach, I have a life coach, I have a financial coach. I got a coach. I got people that can help me get to where I want to be, that can help me reframe my thinking, that can help me shift my paradigms, and can help me believe in myself to know that these things are possible. I even got a spiritual coach. Well, my business coach and my spiritual coach are one and the same. But, having the right people in your life makes all the difference. Sometimes you need to cut ties with people that no longer serve you, that no longer serve the new you. And if you are a new person, a new creation in Christ, if you are a child of God, if you have surrendered your life to God, then I'm telling you, some of those old friends that are no longer walking in alignment with you, some of them you're going to have to love from a distance. Notice I didn't say cut off. Some God may prune you from and completely cut the relationship off, but some of them also you may just have to love from a distance, because you need to be surrounded with the right people. You need to be surrounded with the right thinking. You need to be surrounded with the thinking that outthinks you. Somebody that can challenge you, that can force you to grow in the direction that you are desiring to grow, right? People that are going to encourage you, that are going to uplift you, but most importantly, hold you accountable. All right. So if you are struggling to take that next step, I invite you to book a breakthrough call with me, y'all. Like let's unpack some of these things. Let's figure out what's keeping you stuck. Let's create a strategy to help you move forward, because Queen, your next level is waiting for you. Your next level is waiting for you, but you have to take the first step. All right. So with that said, y'all, that is it. That is all. I do want to just give you a few steps to do this week, right? So we talked about the overall ways to realign and move forward, but I want to give you some actionable steps to take this week. So first thing first, identify what area in your life you feel misalignment with, and just one, right? Because there may be multiple areas, but what is the main thing? What is the main thing in your life right now that you feel a huge disconnect in, that you want to work on? And journal about it. Journal about what's not working. Journal about how you feel. Incorporate your senses. Incorporate your emotions. Incorporate everything in this journal process. Write it all down. And then take one intentional change. So what is one thing that you can do to correct that today, to work towards correcting it? Whether it's saying no to something, whether you're finally making a commitment to work on a project that God put on your heart, whatever it is, just start and make realistic. When I say realistic, if you know you are a person that maybe want to lose weight, right? And I can always use a gym reference, because you know that is relatable for a lot of people. But if you're somebody that wants to lose weight, but you haven't worked out in years, you're not going to start off with a 5-day workout plan, because you're not going to stick to it. Maybe you can set a goal. Well, I'm going to walk 10 minutes at least one day this week. Start slow, and then just incorporate it throughout your day, incorporate it throughout your week, incorporate it, grow to it, but commit and stick to your commitment. And then I encourage you, Queen, to go on Facebook and join our 365 Days on Purpose Challenge, because there you will have daily prompts to help you towards your goal, to help you shift your paradigms and your mindset, and to become the best version of yourself. Okay. And so this is an opportunity each and every day to walk closer to your purpose on purpose. So that was such a powerful session today. I hope you guys got value. If you did, put a V in the chat. Let me know what was your greatest takeaway. What did you learn today that maybe was an aha moment, that was a breakthrough for you, that was relatable for you? Just drop it in the comments. I read them all. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. But share this episode with someone who can get value from this today. Okay? If this resonated with you, share it with someone who can also get value. Okay. And don't forget, if you are ready for real change, for a real breakthrough, book a call with me. I'm going to drop my link in the comments so that you guys can definitely reach out, book that. Actually, you know what? Because we are on YouTube and Instagram, comment breakthrough, and I will personally DM you the link. Okay. So comment breakthrough, and I will DM you the link so that you can book a one-on-one call with me. Okay. And, I'm looking forward to chatting with you, queens. So definitely reach out. If you're ready, reach out. But we can stay connected on all my platforms. It's a major insight. Join the community of like-minded women who are committed to healing, growing, and living purposely. All right. Queen, you are not stuck. There's hope for you, but you are just being positioned for greater alignment. Let's keep on walking in purpose together, queens. Until next time, I will see you guys same time, same place next week.